Do you want to get out of the 9 to 5 and gain financial freedom? In this interview, you'll hear how to break limiting beliefs and how you can build your personal brand on X and follow the process to become successful. I'm interviewing today a data scientist who was laid off and is now chasing his dream to find the Millionaire Fastlane. What is Millionaire Fastlane and why do people need to know that to become successful?
First of all, I was introduced to this book from the YouTuber Ali Abdal. Like I was listening to his podcast, and that's when he recommended this book for anyone who is starting out to be wealthy or to be a entrepreneur or just make money online or something. I just thought, okay, I should just give it a try, and I got a free audiobook from Audible. And the reason why I feel that this is the book everyone should read about, because first of all, there are many limiting beliefs which like society has enforced onto us, like do a 9 to 5, invest in 401, invest in stocks and all those things. And there are other gurus as well on the internet who preach things like going to a job and investing on all those things, and that's they show that this is how they became wealthy. But if you actually look at the background, they actually became wealthy by selling a course or doing mentorships or making an online community and providing some sort of service to a niche audience and things like that. So this book actually opens up our eyes and shows us the real world, the things which are common outside, like which people see as the only way to becoming rich are actually is actually not true. And there are different ways which are actually more like beneficial for us to actually become wealthy and be on the fast lane track. So anyone who is like starting online, like I'd highly recommend this book, just because like there are so many limiting beliefs which we need to break, and without them I don't think like it will be an easy journey or you can actually win in life. So yeah, that's the reason I highly recommend this book.
One of the ways to become wealthy is by creating content like these big YouTubers and other people on social media are doing. Instead of what they're saying, you see a lot of videos like start printing your T-shirts on whatever on-demand platforms. But as they say in the book, like if the entry is super low, there's a lot of traffic and you're not gonna get anywhere. So you need to find a faster way, the open lane to drive faster.
Yes, for sure. Like there's a quote from Naval Ravikant, like where he says that you cannot become wealthy by renting out your time. You can be rich, but you will never be free. Like if you put in 8 hours of work, you will get the output which is equal to the 8 hours of work. So there's no difference between a person who is working a 9 to 5 or a person who is selling fruits on the street. They both are renting out their time at the end of the day. So you need to actually use leverage over here. And right now, content is one of the highest leverage. You can post one piece of YouTube video and it stays forever. And once you grow at a certain level, you start seeing the compounding effect. That's the reason in today's age, utilizing the power of leverage is like one of the key fundamentals we should be focusing on. And yeah, that's also one of the key important lesson which I learned from the book The Millionaire Fastlane. Actually, I knew about this, but when I read the book, it became more clear and evident that leverage should be our first priority.
How are you using this mental framework and what is your goal?
Right now, if I talk about my goals, I am actually new to this online business. Like I do have some experience in the past, but I was never introduced to all the sales thing, outreaching things, posting, writing content and all these things. I was never introduced to this. I never experienced all these things. So I know what my ideal client is and who I should be targeting at the end, because like I am aware about that. But for that to be true and for that I have to be a person of authority at first and prove and get some results for myself. I do have gotten some results on Twitter, but not to an extent that I'll be able to. I don't think that I am that good enough yet. But right now I am just using this mental framework of the leverage to grow my personal brand on Twitter. And the goal is to create an authentic brand around my personality, like what I think about and how do I work. Because I follow just one thing a lot, is to follow the process, and I'm preaching that thing a lot, that you cannot skip the steps to success. Like I have made this mistake in the past. Okay, so you cannot skip the steps to success. You have to learn a new chapter. You have to learn the following skills to be able to go to the new chapter. So that's how, like, I am just learning the skills which are necessary to grow a business, and then I'll utilize them and teach those skills to others. And that's how I use this mental framework right now, and that's how I'm going to grow and build my business in the next coming weeks and months.
How has it been so far? You're mainly posting on X and growing an audience. How has it been, and how long you've been on the platform, and what's gonna happen in the next 6 months?
I have been on Twitter since December 22 last year, so it's almost 6 months now. First of all, I'll talk about the mistakes which I made in the beginning. I was posting any random content. I wasn't posting content which was actually targeting my ideal audience, and which doesn't make any sense. Like the content was good, but it didn't make any sense. Like it was not appealing anyone. So that's one mistake which I made in the beginning. I was not using proper writing formats, like not editing the content. I was just following some guys on Twitter and trying to write that like them. There was no personal touch to it. So that's the second mistake which I made. Also, third thing was I was not going on networking calls, which kept me away from making good friends on Twitter. So these are the three things which I feel like were the biggest mistakes which I made. So during the last 6 months now, I have improved a lot on my content. Now I am able to write better. Second things, I have been consistently going on networking calls, making a lot of friends from all around the world. So that's the second thing, and this has actually helped me improve my communication, because I was very hesitant and very nervous to go onto calls and to speak to strangers about life and business. But I feel like with time it has improved a lot in me, and that's the plus sign. Also, I have started giving consultation calls. So I go into calls, help people out them for free, and try to solve their problems and whichever way I could. So that's one thing. I have started collecting a few testimonials as well. So that's a plus point. And in the next 6 to 12 months, my goal is to scale my brand to 5 to 10K per month. That's the bare minimum goal which I have right now. My birthday was like last week, and even I tweeted a post about the same, that that's the goal until I am the age of 27. Right now I'm 26. So yeah, that's the goal, and I feel like that's very achievable with the kind of work and effort and the strategies which I'm making and the mentors around me. So yeah, that's the goal for now.
Nice one. About the networking calls, there's many people who are not on X and they don't know how it works. And what is the power of networking and sending DMs? What would you say to beginners?
The main reason why I go on to networking calls, or why I would recommend someone to go on to networking call, is the sole reason is growing on X is not that easy as compared to other short video form content platforms like Instagram and TikTok. On X, the journey sometimes feels very lonely. Like you in the beginning, you will be full of energy, you will be posting content, doing engagement, making 100 to 200 comments a day, but eventually you will get burned out. Like after 1 or 2 weeks you will stop. That's exactly what happened with me. So you need to go on to calls, you need to make friends who are on the same journey, who are on the same page as you, who have the same goals as you, who want to see a better future for themselves and make a business out of the internet. So these are the type of people you should be connecting with, who are on the same page. And also I try to connect with people who are like 3, 4, 5 steps ahead than me, just because they have more experience. So when people on similar page, we all are exploring different things, right? So we connect, we share ideas, and that's how we grow faster and we grow together. So that's the main reason. It actually makes the journey less lonely, and with the friends around you, it becomes more exciting. Like you share your wins with them, they get happy, they share their wins, you all celebrate all small wins, and you actually see yourself grow from from level 0 to level 10. So that's the whole point. Like who cares like if you go from 0 to 10 without anyone knowing about it? So like that's no point, right? So yeah, that's the reason. Like also you get to learn a lot, like mainly from the creators who are like 4 or 5 steps ahead of you. You get to learn a lot. That's an easy way to learn from their mistakes and grow and implement.
Very good. So, who would you recommend X to?
There is actually no particular person or someone who I could recommend, but anyone who is like trying to make a personal brand and who has some skill, or even if he doesn't have skill, it doesn't matter. As far as he's willing to learn and grow. So anyone who has a skill, who has an urge, or who has that will to build a personal brand and make a living out of it and build a life around freedom, X is the best platform for them right now. Because if they're confident posting videos and stuff, of course they can grow on Instagram and TikTok. But anyone who is not comfortable in going onto the camera, I feel X is the best platform for them. Because right now there are not many users on X compared to the other platforms, and it's growing at a very crazy fast rate. And in the next coming 3 to 4 years, it would be very crucial for anyone who is willing to make a personal brand. And I feel that after Elon taking over, there are many improvements which are happening on X. And yeah, it's very competitive right now, but it's worth it.
Okay, let's go back and talk about how you got here. Who is Akash Patel?
I got the first taste of like online money back in 2017 when I used to run an Instagram page about the technological advancements going all around the world. So I made some amount of money out of it, and that's when I realized that money could be made from the internet as well. But then I sold that page to a person in the US for around $700, and that journey stopped there. And after that, I got introduced to like data science and all those stuff, and I got into it. And last year in October, when I got laid off from my job, at that point of time, I started exploring X. And while scrolling Instagram, I actually got introduced to Danko, JK Molina, and Dakota Robertson. Like these people were big on Instagram as well, but they were talking a lot about X and how they make money while writing. Initially, I thought like it is all about ghostwriting, because Dakota was preaching a lot about it. So that was my initial impression about X, and that was true actually. When I joined X in back in September, everyone was doing ghostwriting. They were running cohorts and all this kind of stuff. So that was my first impression. But when I got connected with the different peoples from different communities selling different sort of services, at that time I realized that okay, this is something very interesting. People could actually build an audience, and they could sell to their audience and make big amount of money out of this. That's how I got introduced, and I decided to start my journey on X. And that's how I got started over here.
So, from data science to back to social media, and now from X is the idea to grow your personal brand. Thinking ahead, who is going to be your ideal client?
Two things which I am looking at right now. I have two goals. One is for Instagram and one is for Twitter. Right now, I'm focusing just on Twitter because of the sole reason that I am willing to learn things and provide genuine service to the clients who are on Twitter. So on Twitter, I am targeting the people who are providing some sort of services, who has some sort of skill, who are agency owners and all the service providers. So these are my ideal clients on Twitter. Now I talk about Instagram. So I am from India, and I'm an immigrant in this country, and there are many immigrants just like me who are on Instagram.
You're
So
living in Canada now.
yeah, I'm in living in Canada, yeah. So, and there are like hundreds of thousands of immigrants who are coming to Canada, and they are all into 9 to 5 or looking forward to make some extra money online. So, after I make good authority over Twitter, my strategy is to market that authority on Instagram and then target the ideal audience, which is the immigrants of India. So, that's how I'm looking forward for the entire journey.
Going back to 2017 when you started with Instagram, having all this experience over the years, what would Dakas do differently if you had another chance to start again on Instagram or on social media? What would be the advice?
I was a content creator even before content creation was fancy or like all those content creation out there. I won't say it a regret, but the only hard lesson which I learned doing this stuff during this time was that I shouldn't have sold my page to the US guy. I felt like I sold a part of a business to someone for some quick money because $700 in India it is a huge amount. So I feel like if that was not done, I would have been in India right now making some good money out of it, and that would have been the like life right now. But apart that, but that's okay. The another thing which I would tell myself is that after I sold my page on to that guy, I actually stopped making content for like 2 to 3 years because different interest in data science and everything. So that is one thing I could have not done. Like I could have continued making content, made some different pages and stuff. So yeah, I could have just continued the thing which I was doing, which actually I stopped. So that's the main and very important advice. It's like just start early.
How about your experience in data science? How do you feel it helps you with your content and personal branding?
So data science actually has like invoked that idea into me that every data is useful and you could derive insights from that. So data science is all about that, deriving insights and making the future predictions of how things would be going on and taking actions accordingly. So I have this habit of like analyzing my journey every 21 days. So I actually do sprints of 21 days. So every 21 days I try to follow a process and try to analyze how things are working. Like I make a plan on the first day and I completely follow it for 21 days. No matter how what the results are going on between those 21 days, I don't stop. And at the end of the 21 days period, I actually analyze those things like, okay, if this is working or not working, where is the room for improvement and all those things. So actually that part of data science is still into me to analyze the data and to gather information about how things could work and how things could be made better in the future for, and that's how I am trying to improve.
Interesting. What are some of the metrics you're following or tracking?
The main things which I am following is right now like I am focused on growth and outreach. So I am actually tracking what sort of content is working, what sort of content is people liking. I'm also analyzing the hooks, what sort of hooks works better. Like sometimes if we add a negative word, it works better, sometimes it doesn't. Like so all these things sort of things I'm working around on the content. Also in the outreach side, like it's very important to focus on the outreach. So I am actually also analyzing different types of outreach methods, different types of scripts and everything, and try to analyze like how is the response from the other person. And also with the hooks and content, like the things which are working, I actually save them in Notion and sometimes on Google Doc. And I have a few ChatGPT prompts which I made, actually feed those content into those prompts and try to make content out of it. So that's the whole thing which I am doing.
I'm curious to summarize how are you using AI for your content and your growth strategy?
I wasn't using AI for months. Recently, like a month ago, I started utilizing ChatGPT. I was introduced to a few creators on Twitter and on YouTube who are actually big creators like Dickie Bush and Nicholas Cole. They are like really big creators making more than 500K a month. and they are all preaching about how you can leverage AI for better content creation and making more money. So I actually started learning from them, and I am right now experimenting a lot with ChatGPT, the prompts and everything to make better content. And because with ChatGPT, the thing is like if the prompt is not correct and it's not better, like it will just sound very robotic, and people will actually get to know that it's written by an AI. So we don't
Absolutely.
want that sort of things. So that's the main way I am using AI right now.
For me personally, I love the sandwich method. That you give a prompt, you take the output, then you edit, and you can reiterate. Like then you give it again and give more instructions, and finally something useful comes out on the other end.
Sometimes people spread this negativity on Twitter that okay, this guy is using AI, he's not a content creator or things like that. But you cannot generate new ideas every single day. Like it's your brain. It's not Google or something, or you could just type in some keywords and you'll get some ideas. So
Yeah.
you have to use AI to make things smooth and faster, because people eventually, the people who will be to using AI in their growth will eventually outwork or be more efficient than the people who are just relying on their brain or just Google or something. Because I feel like everyone is talking about AI. It's the future. Everyone knows about it. So why not use it?
So becoming a successful solopreneur requires many skills. In your opinion, what are the top three skills and why?
In my opinion, the top three skills right now, the number one skill has to be writing, because how you write is like very important. It should convey a message. It should take your reader onto the journey. So that's the number one thing, and everything is all about writing. Like if you write a Instagram post or a Twitter post, Twitter thread, long form newsletter, YouTube script, everything is around writing. So that's the number one thing. Second thing I would say is communication and networking. Like you should be able to network with people and make good connections with them, because eventually those are the ones who will be helping you out in your journey, because you cannot be great or smart at everything out there. There are many skills which are required to be a solopreneur, but with a good network of friends, you can actually take their help and fast track your process. Like I have friends who are good at copywriting, who are good at email marketing, one is good at landing page designing. So these are the friends who will help you out in your journey. So networking and communication is the second thing which I would tell. And the third thing is sales and marketing. Like if you are running a business without sales and marketing, it's not gonna work. Eventually at the end of the day, you are here to make some money. So sales and marketing is like must. And uh, and that is actually linked with the second one, which is networking. Like if you go on more networking calls, if you make good connection with friends, eventually you will build up the skill of communication, and that will eventually help you in your sales. So these are the three things which I would say are very important.
For beginners, what would be your advice how to start learning to write?
At the beginning, don't try to follow 100 different creators. Just spend out some time on the platform, whichever platform you are looking up to, and pick up just one person who you feel like is doing good. So and just follow his style, his writing pattern and everything for a good amount of time until you find your own. Because we start something new because we see someone else doing it great. We so just for example, I started X because I saw someone who was doing good at it, who was making good money, and that was my goal. So I felt like, okay, this is what I wanted to do. That's why I jumped onto X, because people like Danko and Dakota were onto it. So that's how you start at the beginning. Just pick up one person, try to follow what he is doing, and eventually, when you are following him, you will try to notice the kind of things which you actually love, and you will actually it will all happen automatically, but you just have to be mindful that okay, this is what I'm enjoying, this is what not I'm enjoying, this is my strong point, these are my weak points. So that's how you can grow. But in the beginning, I would say just not to follow many different creators, because that would just mess you up and you will not get anywhere. So yes.
Right. To return back to the beginning and the millionaire's fast lane, let's talk about the future economy. Like we have the slow lane and the fast lane. Now, how do you see where's the world going and why people should become solopreneurs and start working in the creator economy?
I don't think like everyone will be a solopreneur. Like eventually, when people, like even people like Danko or Justin Wells, they all preach that they are solopreneurs, but behind back of the scenes, they have a small team of 4 or 5 individuals who are doing some activities for them, like sending emails or any sort of thing, email marketing, all those things. So solopreneurship is like good at the beginning, like 5 to 10k, maybe 15k per month mark. But once you grow, you will eventually have to have a small team. So that's how I look at it. And the future, I feel like, is very bright, because even Goldman Sachs predicted that right now the creator economy is just like $104 billion, and in the next 3 years, up like around 2027, it is expected to be approximate around 480 to $500 billion. So it will grow at a like 4 to 5x rate. So the future is definitely very, very bright for the creators. And also, I feel that in the coming years, eventually everyone will be a creator, either by choice or by force, because you will have to uh, you will have to be visible. And if you are not visible, if you are behind the curtains, no one's gonna notice you, you will miss out on opportunities. So everyone will be a creator in the coming years, and it's very important like to start early and grow your audience, grow your brand, and build trust around it. And that's the I for sure the fastest way to grow and live a life of freedom. That's what I feel.
Very good. Well, how do you compare the positive predictions for creator economy with the old way of being employed, working in a company, building a career? What is your take?
I am very obsessed with freedom. So the reason why I'm building a business is all because of freedom. I want location freedom, time freedom, and obviously financial freedom as well. I could get financial freedom out of working a 9 to 5 as well, but the other two things are being compromised, which is time and location. So these are my highest priority. Like even if I make $5,000 a month doing an online business, and if I make like 15k a month from being an employee, I would definitely go for the online thing, because I could like save a lot on taxes. First of all, that's the main thing. And I would not be a slave to anyone. I would not, there would be no boss or anything. I would be working on things which I actually love. So in the past, people were not very aware about it, except a very few. And right now people are being aware, but still the number is very low, because if I look around my friends and everything, they are all into 9 to 5. They are not even trying to do something else. They are all behind the traditional ways of like buying a convenience store or a grocery store or something, and then they say that that's a business, but still they are like working even more over their convenience store or grocery stores. Like even they're working even more than the 9 to 5. So yeah, that's the main thing which is happening right now. So I still feel there is a lot of opportunity left out, and the market is very huge.
Very good. Where people can find you if they want to connect?
Right now I'm available on Twitter and my username is Level Up with AP. So that's the best way to reach out to me right now.
Creator economy and online solopreneurship is the way to attain the freedoms Akash was talking about: location freedom, time freedom, and financial freedom. X is a great place to start learning and building a personal brand, so I recommend to join. Once you build an audience and want to start making videos, follow this channel to learn how to do it. Hello. More interviews are coming.